Hey, we're here tonight with Hoya Roc from Smoke AxD, formerly of Madball. You were in Madball for 30-ish years.
Yeah,
Um, that's, uh, that's how I
yeah.
found
So
out about you, you
yeah,
know,
I guess most people, 99.9% of the people.
for sure, for sure. And you've got, the Smoke and Word podcast, right?
Oh yeah, I got the Smoking Word podcast. I actually had that for a bunch of years now, like way before the 3 year world vacation. But what it was harder. It wasn't like with Zoom and everything back then. It was a bigger production, so it was harder to do. So I had started it, and then I kind of got away from it for a minute. And then during the whole 3 year hiatus, I restarted since I saw a lot of meetings going on in Zoom. I brought it back, and I've been doing it since. Yeah, we're like I don't know how many in, but we got a bunch in.
Hell yeah. It's always cool to see people doing shit that they enjoy and it do something.
Yeah, it's the same. It's always like, hey, if people want to hear people talking shit, especially me talking shit, I'll talk shit all day.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
me too. Fuck. I like, especially about music. I love fucking talking music. So it's
Yeah, so it's just I guess I'm lucky that I know a lot of cool people and been through and have a lot of cool stories. So I was like, hey, what good are these stories if you don't share them?
right. Right.
At least that's the way I see it. Like, why keep it? Why be greedy? Like, it's some crazy shit sometimes. Or
For
what
sure.
you think is crazy ain't that crazy, or sometimes what you think ain't that crazy is crazy. So
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
but
Your
yeah,
normal is not necessarily someone else's normal, right?
yeah, and or vice versa. It's just cool to see. Sometimes it helps you. It reminds you that you're not such a nutbag. Sometimes,
Yeah, for
sometimes.
sure. So Smoke AxD, how did that come together?
Yeah, and by the way, you're the first guy I do a podcast with since since I think I did since Toby's podcast, to be honest with you, and definitely the first one since releasing all my new stuff. So definitely, yeah. No, long story short, I've always had a lot of music, like the stuff I'm doing now, real groove, crossover, more thrashy type groove shit, and more metallic stuff. And I was thinking about, how could I present this new music without saying, "Hey, Hoya got a new band." It's kind of like, or I want, and simultaneously, I also have a cannabis travel show that I got a mini season already recorded,
Right on.
right? That that I've been shopping for sponsors and I want to release it. It's cool. I go around legal states. I check out the music, local businesses, and the cannabis in the thing,
Yeah.
in the town. So and while I was doing that, we were learning about, when you put music to stuff, you get flagged and this and that. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Let me write the theme song to the show and I'll showcase my new band in that way. So basically, my web channel is the house band for my web channel.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So I said, "Yo, let's do it. Let's do a theme song for my show." That was actually the first video. That's why it kind of has a lot of weed, kind of like
Yeah.
terms or whatever, because it's actually the title track for my cannabis show. Um, I was able to do that, and then I said, "Hey, I was able." I said, first of all, when I did this, I always said, obviously I did music for many years.
Mhm.
So I took everything I knew and what I would want to do and what I would not want to do with releasing music. And I said, I want to be able to do music with people that are exactly on the same wavelength as I am right now. Like, and it's two things. It's literally just doing the music and having as much as a good time as we can doing it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the first thing I said, hey, who could I get? Ezek, that's my brother since I'm a little kid. We're boys since we're kids. And he always used to say, we got to do a band, we got to do a band. And it's just the way life is. If I do something, I wouldn't do something for just for the hell of it. That's why you never saw me in nothing else but Madball or Hazen Street,
Right.
because I'm an all or nothing type of guy. And and then when this came up, I said, who would be the right guy, who I would want to do it, and who I feel would get the picture and be on the same grind as me. And I know E was that. It was a given, I was like, yo, you want to? He was like, yeah, let's do this. Finally, he was like, you asshole, come on, you know what I mean? And right away, I said, man, I would love to get a kill, man, guitars. Like, I know a million people, but it's like I wanted to keep it real friends and that vibe. And to be honest with you, now to come and think about it, before that, I had E, but then I got in touch with Zeus before anybody. Because I said I already had the music. I said, I'll get the band. But I was like, man, I got this music. Like, and I knew I was like, man, if I could get one track recorded, I want to get it good for my show. It would be good. I'll have the title track for my show, and I'll be able to push the song at the same time. So I said I needed a sound. I needed a sound like an album. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I also don't have money like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to pull out my resources. And what? Long story short, Zeus is an old friend. He did some of our old records, and also, I consider him a friend. And it was a matter. I got in touch with Zeus, and I said, "Yo, what would I have to do to get you to do a track for me?" He says, "You got to come to Mass." And it was a matter of we work everything out, how whatever the back end stuff, whatever, all the red tape bullshit that which was done, just like, yo, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I said, man, on guitar, man, who would I get? And right away, I was like, man, I wish Sean. I know Sean. You know, again, this wasn't meant to be a band that was saying, yo, we're gonna go hit the road for the next 10 years. I said, hey, I would like to play shows, but when it makes sense, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And I said, who's around that I could get that, that I could say that fits the thing, and it got to be a killer. And I said, man, I'm already in Connecticut. I wish Sean was around. I said, man, I wonder if Sean would do it. I'm thinking, because I know Sean was doing a lot of stuff with Twitching Tongues, and he has a couple other groups. He's a business,
Yeah.
And I didn't just know what he was. I hit up Sean, yo, what's up, Sean? Yo, I got this thing. Yo, you down to jump? Before I could finish, he was like, let's go. That's
Right
my
on.
boy too. It was all friends. You know what I mean? And Isaac and Sean been friends. We've all been friends for 20 plus years. But a lot of us haven't seen each other for, wow, like maybe 15, 10, over 10 years, some of us, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like E didn't see Sean for many years and vice versa. So we all in contact, but didn't really. So first day back in the studio. Oh, and then with Dimmy on the first track, I was like, who could I get right away? We used to talk about doing music. I said, yo, Dimmy be perfect for this first track. I got this track. Boom, perfect vibe. Let me just get this song off. You know what I mean? Boom, we get in the studio, we do the song, boom. Long story short, we got that song with the help of my good boy, Jay. We connected the dots. I was able to get a distro deal. I got a label from that one song where they were able to give me money to be like, hey, we want you in the studio to do an EP. We said, yo, let's do this EP. Zeus was
Oh
like, yo,
yeah.
let's go. So basically, it helped me launch the band. Like, we were able, shout out to Vidya, shout out to Jay, able to get us in the studio to do these other songs. And I went in January. We went in, we recorded the songs. And like, as you see right now, we're dropping our next video on 420. That's
Oh,
actually going to be our third video. And then the EP comes out the month after.
I'll be at we've got a festival down here in so I live in Louisville, but there's a legalized fest in Lexington that I'll be at.
Wow.
Bunch of doom.
Future.
Oh yeah.
Future stuff like that, exactly. And again, it's funny. Some people are like, "Oh, we band." Like, yeah, it inspired the whole thing. And yes, it was. The sessions were Mary Jane to the 1,000th power. But no, we got some real shit on this. It's not just about that. That was kind of that first track was again the title track for my Wheat show.
Sure.
But the other stuff lyrically is all real shit, like real stuff. It's really about overcoming, overcoming you know, um a lot of the, life. Me, Ezek,
Adversities and
Sean,
bullshit. Yeah.
being through a lot in our lives, and look at, as grown men, we're brought back to life, for the love of music, now being able to do stuff together from what we learned. We're lucky to still be here because we lost a lot of people along the way, and we are some of the few people that realize it.
Well, I think
And
that's why a lot of people are drawn to like a lot of the like New York hardcore is it's
yeah,
so positive, right? Like
yeah,
Toby and One Life, One Chance, and
yeah,
like there's all this that's why I'm fucking drawn to it, right? It's
yeah,
always been,
yeah, for
push
sure.
positive. You got, Sick of It All and of course
Yeah,
Madball and it's I don't know.
yeah.
It's
That's the special thing about the hardcore scene in general. It's like, even if you were negative, you had people supporting you in negative because you had negative so-called people backing you, which was always, you had a support group. We
yeah,
all want a support group. If nobody on the earth wanted it, we would live in seclusion and never care. That's why we become part of if it's a thread of something. If you become part of a club, if you become part of we're humans. We're meant to interact with people in one way or another.
yeah.
You
That's
know?
exactly it. Like that's where a lot of people fail with mental health is they don't have a sense of community, right?
Yeah,
That's we need that support. We need to
yeah,
feel like we're not alone.
yeah. A lot of that shit comes from an older generation of, like, you know, um, especially if you're working class and the middle and lower, you don't show weakness.
Right.
So it's kind of a taboo to show, hey, to say, yo, I hurt or I cry or I this. I mean, those days are changing, but that was a big problem. You know what I mean? So you couldn't fix a problem you didn't know people had it, and then a lot of times it was too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't come
All
out
those
till it was too late.
alcoholics back in the day, mental health. They
Yeah.
could say whatever it was. The only vice they had in the 50s or that was alcohol
Yep.
or abusing their loved ones or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, and then, we look at current times and all this drug addiction, it relates directly to mental health. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
obviously, right, you're a proponent for mental health.
For sure.
We fucking need it. I lost my little brother in 2019. He took his
Right.
life. So it's like
Sorry. Yeah, it's horrible. Fuck. Yeah.
it sucks. So I'm like, fuck, what can we do to
Yeah.
help each other?
A big part of it is talking. I was one of those guys. I didn't talk about it, not because of some tough guy shit. It was just like, I felt like, I don't need to, I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Again, I guess it's some of that growing up, like, don't show weakness. But I was like, I don't want to paint the picture of me being this wounded animal. But what I realized was, when I was going through my shit, I would fortunately and unfortunately, use other people's stories to hear, wow, some people had it really bad. They got over it. That I could use it. I realized, yeah, if I didn't hear that, it wouldn't have given me that, yo, maybe this could work out like this, or wow, I don't have it as bad as that person. And
Right.
then I said, you know what? Maybe if I start talking about it a little bit more, it might do the same. And if it don't, whatever. And it did. And again, it was like unconsciously, but subconsciously, it was more like, yeah, I ain't trying to be no guru or nothing like that. But I know, fuck that. If it's gonna keep somebody from killing themselves, dude,
Yeah.
hey, call me what you want, but I ain't trying to be no guru. I just know that I was never into that point to ever taking my life, but I was very in a low spot, in
Oh
a
yeah.
very low point. And if it wasn't for me hearing other people's stories, you make yourself feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And then when you hear it, you can't deny it. So it's kind of like a slap in the face, a reality check. Yo, look it. Other people's got it done through. I've gone through shit. Look, I realized in life is two things, and it got nothing to do where you come from, background, or whatever. You could fold or you could keep going for it. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no choice.
That's it.
We don't
Literally.
want to go to school. We don't want to go to work. We don't want to pay taxes. We don't want, but we have to. Because if you want to move forward, or you stay stagnant and you die, whatever, or you figure it out. Now, to move to life, to move forward, you got to focus on moving forward. I'm learning this in my late 40s and 50s, but I'm content to be alive to
learn
catch
it.
it.
Yeah.
You know, instead of worrying about it, it's that going that way. And talking about it, I think now a podcast, you know, and just more avenues of people able to kind of eavesdrop on conversations. You know, I would like to hope it helps people. You know what I mean? Because
Hell
it's
yeah.
you know, it's a tough world.
It is. And life's so fucking short. It's, it's hard enough. Why can't we, we
Yeah,
notice a lot more people now are coming together. Like let's help each other, right? I know
yeah,
you got some problems. Let's figure it out, get you through it.
absolutely. Yeah, no, and that's how it should be. You know, like, and that's the beauty of hard times, and I think that's the blessings we got to look at hard times. We get to see everybody who's really there for you, and
Yeah.
you know what's even better? You get to see all the people that are not for you
Yeah.
during those times. It just becomes black and white, and then life becomes very easy because there's more important things like survival at that point where you could cut them off the right way. You know, negative energy or whatever, because that whole world standstill was a reboot. If you didn't come out of that shit with learning a new language, a new skill, read a book, done at least one thing, done push-ups, done some,
Yeah.
learned how to cook, I already know where you're going.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair statement.
You
Right.
know, and that's how I feel because I'm the laziest motherfucker in the world, but I'm also a human with a family, and I know, you know, I also like I have a brain, and I know okay, things got to be done, and like I said, I'm all or nothing. So if I'm gonna do something, let's go.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah. Hell
and
yeah. So let's get back on the music for a minute.
yeah, for sure.
When's that you said the next single comes out 420?
Yeah, for sure. And again, that was a good thing. Like, you know, this whole record was like that same thing. You know, it was like it comes out 420. We have it's a really cool track. Sean actually produced the track. Um, it's on this industrial feel, like on some. People are gonna bug out on the whole EP because I wanted to make sure we gave variety. You know, it was just all our influences in one. Nothing was all flavor. We just wanted to make riff and grooves by all means necessary type shit. And I'm really happy on everything. Like I could honestly say I'm happy with everything from the amount of time what we had to do this, what we did sonically, you know, as a team, how it came out sonically, from the artwork to everybody working on it. It's like it really's been a blessing. I
Hell
never
yeah.
had something. You know, I like to think, higher beings looking out. Also, I'm learning when you work with a team of special forces, you see things move in a different way.
Oh, for sure. You
You know
don't
what I mean?
realize how easy it is when everyone comes together and it's like, okay, we can do this.
Wow. I've seen life in a different way where I'm like, wow. And it makes me feel stronger. It gives me more motivation. And it's all about the music and it's all about vibes. And what's your vibes? There's nothing you don't vibe. There's no better vibe than what you do with your family, with your people, with your friends. And if you're creating with them, it comes out in the music, you
Oh
know, if
yeah.
you like it or not, you know what I mean? And that's what all I'm about. We're all about that in the band, you know. Me, E, and Sean, we're like, we just want to blaze, make music, and do it for as long as we can.
Hell yeah.
And
So
you know,
when's the album come out?
so the whole EP comes out. I believe it. April, May. I want to say so. I think May 7th. I believe the whole EP drops. I believe, but like about a month after the 420 release,
Okay.
more or less, because I actually thought the 420 was gonna be the full release of the EP, but we're gonna do the one more single and then boom, drop the EP,
Okay.
and then we have on total it's 5 songs. You know, Smoke AD. We have the codes we chose, and Via con Dios is what we drop in the next one, the next video.
Right on. Yeah, I think you just started promoting that one too.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
We just started getting on, and then we're putting that shit together, and I'm excited about that one too,
And
man.
then
Really am.
I think the end of May is when the vinyl gets released, or
Yes,
that's the
yes.
anticipated.
I've been so confused all these days because we've been doing a lot of work, man, and it beyond busy in the best way. But yeah, so I got a little confused with the dates on
Yeah.
what's what, but the shit's coming now. It's recorded, and I'm empty. You know what I mean?
Well, so there's I think there's two variants of the vinyl, and the mock-ups of them look cool as fuck,
Well,
dude.
there's three
Oh,
color vinyls. The finish, we have a basic one that's up on Spotify, but the one with the full cover with the angel cutting the snake's head off, that one we have in three different colors. At Casa de Rock and at Blackout, we got the rust color,
mhm.
and Static Era, they got that green, that jade green, that's a dope green. And Cortex in Germany, they always rock the gold. That's their color. So we got the three colors, and you can get them at any of those spots.
So
You
now
know,
I got to
at,
go find the gold one. Jeez, come
yeah,
on.
yeah, that's in Europe. And yeah, I'm making sure I get mine too because to be honest with you, I don't own none of my vinyls.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I've had them, and then people would come, friends would take them, and you would think, "Oh, I'll get it again," and then no, it don't work that way.
Right. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, fuck. But this time I'm getting them. But man, I wanted to make sure the artwork was something that yo you would want the artwork on your wall
Yeah.
because I'm putting it on because I really wanted to make some cool ass shit and something meaningful, and it goes perfect with the whole album, the theme of the album, of everything of where we're about. We're about overcoming, cutting off everything negative, everything that ever came at us, everything, all that, anything that we created, any that's bad, anything, and moving forward. That's what it is. This record's all about that. And me, E, and Sean, we all been through a lot, and I can especially speak for me and E. A lot, and we're grateful to be where we at. So it's like we're actually in a very good time in our lives. Like I say, a real cool time.
Hell yeah. It's great to be able to say that, right? Because I'm sure,
Oh man,
I feel like when we were growing up, I think we're pretty close to the same age. When we were growing up, it was very different, right? Like
yes,
I think we were the first the first generation where both parents were off,
yeah,
doing their thing, and we raised ourselves. So we
yeah,
had to
yeah.
figure it out
You,
at a young
you know,
age.
and I was lucky that I was one of the few guys that actually had both my parents. But yeah, at that era, that same time frame. But I saw a lot. 99% of my friends didn't.
Right.
My parents helped raise 90% of my friends, and again, I thank them for the way I'm built, for all of them. I had a hard couple of years because I lost a lot of my family. Literally every year for the last that 3 years that I was gone, I lost a family member. I lost my mother, my father, and my brother during that time.
Mm.
And during that, and besides everything with no word, whatever that happened or whatever. But I always learned through them. No matter what, it was always listen. It's everybody eats or nobody eats, and that's the way. If you hear the last song I put out, the lyrics to that song, that shit comes from my soul. You know what I mean? Because I'll talk my shit on a track that because what I've been through and then what I got to see in life, I'm proud of what I've been through. And I can honestly say you could call me an old model, but a lot of people ain't built like me.
That's the
And
truth.
you know what I mean? And people could take it as cocky, coming in even on some cock. It's just some shit on some personal shit that I know my brother and my parents and everybody would be proud of me knowing that. Look, put it like this. That didn't break me. I understand I really understand the meaning of unstoppable
Oh yeah. Oh,
more than ever.
I just saw something that was about unstoppable. I like
Yeah.
that's today's theme for me. So
Yeah.
I'm
And
uh,
and you also know, man, to lose a brother,
yeah.
I put up a post not too long ago. and it's that what's homeboy's name? Billy Bob Thornton.
Mhm.
And I kept that, and I'm gonna keep that fucking. I posted, and I'm gonna keep that forever on my phone or whatever. And he said some shit about him losing his brother, and I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah.
And he basically says, "Yo, I'll never that, and I'm gonna hurt forever. But if that basically more or less, but if that means that's how I'm gonna honor him, then I want to feel that shit forever."
Yeah.
And right, and I said, you know what? That's what I want. That's why my grind is next level because my brother. You kidding me? I hear my brother, and one of the last people was my father. My brother passed before my father. One of the last things my pops told me, and my pops had Alzheimer's near the end. So even with his being crazy and out of his skull, he told me this: always remember this shit. No matter what you do, we don't go in to lose shit. We go to win no matter what. So we go full blast or nothing. And he told me this at his craziest. And he used to tell me that before that. So it was like one of the last things that stood in his head that he told me since I was a kid.
It was still there. That's awesome.
And that was still there. And he told me when I needed it the most.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And again, that's why since I left, I put out 5 songs. I recorded an EP. I got 3 videos dropping. I'm only getting started. I'm already working on an album. I know I gotta live life for a lot of people I lost.
Yeah. Yeah. You fucking do. It doesn't
You know,
stop. It keeps going. And you just gotta, just like you're doing, you gotta go out, you gotta attack, you gotta go after all of those things. And,
we have to. We
you
have to.
know,
And that's how this is me. I don't want this to become like a whole, on trying to be. But the fact is this is the way I see life. For all, I want my whole family in the afterlife to rest in peace. And for them to rest in peace, I know they want me good. And me good meaning because they need my sons to be good.
yeah.
So I make it a point that I kill it and I make enough noise on earth that they could hear up there that they say, you know what, we could take a nap now. We could chill out. So I made my life goal is for my children always been. And it's for them to not stop. We don't stop. It's just what it is. It's too bad. If people don't like it, it's too bad. You're stuck with me. It's just what
Yeah.
it is.
Whatever. Like,
Exactly. But that's where I'm on that shit. And shout out to Toby and all the positive people, but I'm not even trying to be on some positive, but I'm on some positive shit.
hell yeah, you are. I love
You
it.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I'm psyched. The new music, it definitely helped. I definitely everything that's happened went into the music. You know what I mean? And I wrote, the Smoke AxD track. He wrote it, and me, but all the other songs, I wrote all the lyrics, and it wasn't meant to be. It came out, and I was happy that it came out because I wrote songs in the past for Madball, but I never saw myself as a lyrics guy. I said, oh, I wrote a song or two, kind of thing.
right.
But this time it was on some other shit. It came out, and I'm really happy how it came out. Really
Hell yeah.
happy.
Well, I I jammed both the singles so far, and I've
Thank you, man.
jammed them multiple times. I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. It's
Thank
it's heavy as fuck,
Yeah.
and it's really metallic, and
Yes.
it ah, I dig it. I think a lot of people are really gonna enjoy
Thank
that.
you. Yeah, that was the point. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Another hardcore band? Like straight up, like another. It's like everybody expected. Oh, him and Ezek. I was gonna sound like Madball or Start. I was like, nah. Obviously, I wrote all the shit for Madball, the music. So it's my feel is my feel. But I said no. It's not Madball. It's a whole different animal. I wanted to. It's make it darker. It was. I was always. I'm the guy who brought the metal stuff into Madball. So
Yeah.
I wanted to turn up on the crossover side of shit. The thrash side and groove was always my shit. So I said, and I got Sean. And when I think of Sean, I think of riffs. Just the word riffs. Meaning just thinking of just groove and real heavy shit. And I wanted to make an album that was well thought out, that felt good, that felt mean, and I'm mad proud of Ezek, man. He fucking killed it. We worked on it together a lot.
Yeah.
But man, he, I think is the best he's ever sounded, man. You know, and that's not just to be like, oh, because he's on our shit and whatever, but he worked hard on it. And I don't know. I think people, when they hear him as a whole, when you hear the whole shit as a whole, people are going to bug out on everything, and especially with E, you know, because he's not rapping what they might be used to him doing or a different type of thing. I think, you know, he's hitting over the head on some other type of shit. You know, we got,
And
I
he
mean, I'm
does.
mad.
He
Yeah,
sounds fucking great, man.
yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very, again, that's one of the best compliments and one of the most compliments we've been getting about people really digging how the vocals came out on E. So man, I'm psyched. Again, I it couldn't have been any. I never had. I can honestly say I never recorded anything that I had this much fun ever,
Right on.
ever.
Feels fucking great, doesn't it?
Oh, beyond. Like I'm ready to go in again. Like I don't got the music for this yet, but like I'm ready to do that whole shit again. Like to me, that was man. Like I could see rich people paying to do that experience for a vacation.
Oh,
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pay. Where I'm gonna have a studio where I can get with my friends. We're gonna smoke weed, eat food, drink coffee for fucking 6, 7 days. Hang out in a room all together. Just reminisce, talk shit, listen to music, laugh. I mean, like I want to do that right now.
well, I think you just came up with our next fucking vacation idea for
You know
like,
what I mean?
you know,
That'd be like a whole thing. Like, you know how like all these guys want to go live like they want to go live like one guy rich dude wants to be a squatter, one guy wants to be like whatever. Now you could be like, yo, but I mean the experience was so again, I'm so happy with every I never again I even said, man, you know what? If nobody even heard this, got to hear these songs, I said, man, just the way everything worked out, I was like, man, I never had an experience like that. And it couldn't have been at a better time. You know what I mean? My like kind of my first thing back, and also me, you know, the new chapter in my life.
yeah.
You know, I had to make sure that when I come out, I take people's heads off.
Yeah.
That's another thing, you know.
Well, you know what? It's funny when it seems like when we need something the most, it fucking happens, right?
Facts. I
Like
agree.
I'll be honest with you. So my little brother, it'll be 5 years next week. And
Oh,
it's weighing heavy on me right now. Like today, I was just like, I don't want to do shit, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
still got up, did it, and like hearing that, just talking to you is making me feel so fucking good right now.
Yeah, no, good man. Saying it good, you know, that's what they would want. You
Yeah,
know, the last thing they wanted, anybody who loves you don't want to see you hurting for them.
right.
So we gotta. What we do is not. You know, when we try to cry. You know, if I cry for anybody, I always do. But it's more like, yo, also like, man, I'm lucky. I also know how lucky I was to have them.
Yeah,
You know, I'm also lucky that I was a grown man to have both my parents for as long as I had them.
yeah,
You know, I realize all the luckiness. So I said, you know what? Knowing that I'm lucky, what I'm gonna do, take that for granted, and I'll waste the rest of my living life when
right.
some of these people are, you know, no, no, now we turn up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you got that's it. That's exactly it, right? Because now it's
Yeah.
you've got to pass that on, right, to your kids.
That's it. It's all about my boy. The minute my first son came out, it ended about me. It became about him. And then when my second son came out, it became about both of them. And
Yeah.
that's the way it stays. And that's why I'm here. Because I said, no matter what, I need them good. When they're big and they already can survive for themselves, my job is done in life. But until then, they're stuck with me.
Yeah.
That's why I try to be trained. I try to be healthy as possible because I need to live to make sure my sons get the start that they deserve, the start that they're gonna need to go continue in life, and not just to maintain, to fucking kill it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they
Just
gotta
gotta
kill it.
install that fucking mindset, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I learned. Here's what I want you to
And they
learn.
are both my boys. They all excel in what they do. My boy plays ball. My other boy trains. You know, in MMA, they all do good in school. Both of them. Like that's without me going crazy. None of us being, like abusive parents. None of that shit. It's just installing like, yo, the things in life we got to do. We represent our family,
Yeah.
and we're better than that. You know, forget doing it just for me. Do it for yourself first,
Yeah.
and then you do it for yourself, knowing that's how proud it makes us. And then that's how they got to build for themselves. And again, I learned from them. I always call my sons my teachers. You know what I mean? Because I learn every day from them what to do and when not to do.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Oh, me
you know.
too.
And same thing with music. You know what I mean? My sons, when I left the band, they were like, "Yo, but pops, man, that's what you do. You got to do something, man. Music's your shit." And you know what? They're right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, shit, you've been doing it for, over 30 years at this point, and that's
Yeah, it's
it.
crazy. I think
Yeah.
about it sometimes. I bug myself out. Like Demise. Shout out to Demise. They're playing out now. That was my first band, and they're playing out. I think about that, and that's where we started. We were like 15, 16 years old. Same kind of shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. And I'm glad. But again, like this music shit's in me. Like, you know what I mean? And I got so much more to do, and like so much more ideas. And I like where music's at right now. I like where heavy music is at.
Oh,
I
me
like where
too.
underground music is. Where the whole mix match of everything, it's no longer a problem, which it should never been.
Well, and
It's
I
all
feel
fucking
like,
heavy shit.
and now it's it's more prominent to see people from all the different
Yeah.
subgenres and collectives to
Uh,
like if it's a death metal band, everyone goes
yes.
to see the death metal band. Everyone
Yes.
goes to see the punk band or
Yes.
the hardcore.
Absolutely.
It
And back in the day, it was like that. Even before me, people forget there wasn't a big, super underground metal scene. It was either you're playing Battle of the Bands or playing with the
yeah,
national act. Hardcore had the every weekend shit. That's why you had the metal bands playing the hardcore shows because there was a scene every week.
yeah,
So all those metal bands were like, wow, these guys, we could play every week. There's an act. And then you name them, 9 out of 10 of these old hardcore bands, if you look how they started, they were metal bands, and which I love. And it's, a lot of times the normal progression, if you're finding punk, is a lot of times it's through metal and what I did, and whatever.
yeah.
But I'm saying it's like, but it was like that with a lot of the actual bands because there was nowhere to play for metal. All right, you do the battle of the bands, then what? Now you got to hope to get the national act. Now, in between that, what do? You know what? A hardcore bands, they play from the garage. Then
Yeah.
the next week they're at, whatever at the time
Someone's
keeping
basement at the
somebody's
VFW,
basement, the
whatever.
storefront, an abandoned building. Wow. And then they got a real gig somewhere, and I always said hardcore has from a first grade to grad to college. Metal only has like first grade and college. You don't got all middle school and whatever.
Right.
It's
Right.
battle of the bands, although the next step is, we got to play with a national act.
Yeah.
In hardcore, it's, let's play a show. Oh, the next thing, let's play another show. Oh, let's play a show on the stage. Oh, let's play the first division. And then
Yeah.
your goals is different. It's different,
Yeah, well, very much so. And I think, that was one of the good things about like the hardcore aspect was they took a lot from the punk.
Yes.
That's what it was. It was very much a punk ethos, and you played wherever you could. If it was
Yes,
Johnny's
yes.
deck on Friday, you were there. Johnny's
They
deck on
all they
Friday.
all took from each other. You know what I mean? Like as much, I'm the hardcore pure. I'm a hardcore kid to the death. But if it wasn't for metal, we would still hardcore sound like garbage cans. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's just reality. The fact is, punk rock gave the feel of what we do. Metal gave us the technical, sonically, and the technicality of forming a song structure and how to sound good performance wise. Now maybe we don't go as technical and not as no noisy as that. Boom, in the middle you got hardcore music. Now you could take it from ever, then you got your crossover, then your technical, whatever, or vice versa. So there's nothing wrong with nothing, but I was always into the more metallic groove type breakdown. I always loved Slayer.
Oh yeah.
And then when early hardcore, I was really never into the Bad Brains. I was really never into like that old style hardcore. I was more into, obviously I love the Cro-Mags and Agnostic Front, but I love that breakdown, leeway, and it was more a crossover feel. I loved old Crumb Suckers. You know, I you know, I was more towards the metal than towards the punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as my hardcore goes. And then when I
Yeah.
joined Madball, that was basically what I did was how could I bring the whole metal shit into this fucking pure type hardcore band, but without doing it in a corny way and doing it organically, because that's what I did. I was already, a hardcore kid playing groove metal,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah. Well,
and
and
that's
it
what I
did.
am.
Yeah. It,
That's
it,
what I am.
and it was groovy as fuck. Like
Yeah.
Madball, God, I'm sure we've all got so many fucking memories of seeing Madball play,
Yeah,
or you playing fucking shows.
yeah,
Uh,
man.
that's, ah, how-
Yeah, it's been a long ride. I think about it sometimes, and yeah, I'm proud of everything I did. And it's cool. I did a lot. We did a lot of cool things with the band and all that shit and whatever, and I'm glad. But I'm more. I never been happy, more happy. Like I really get it. Like right now, you know how lucky we are right now to be living now, right at this fuck. And I'm not even on some corny shit. At this fucking moment, our life is so perfect and good enough. No matter what's happening, that we're on a conversation on the fucking podcast
yeah.
where it ain't that bad. Even if it's
Oh
bad,
no,
it's something that we could, it's part of our life.
that's it. That's it. And you're absolutely right. I literally wake up every day and I'm like, man, I'm so grateful to be where I am. Like,
Uh, Yo, we should be great. Being angry, being bitter, that shit's all a privilege, dude.
yeah,
That's a privilege.
hell yeah, it is.
Yes, nobody wants to wake up, but you got to do it. And I lost enough people that I know they would give anything. And if they saw what I was getting angry at sometimes, what they would give just to be here another day, let alone what I'm flipping out about. And and I think these are the blessings we gotta go with. And I use that shit with the music with, yo, just don't stop. This is what you do. And I don't put, you would hope everybody loves what you do. You also realize not everybody doesn't. And cool, it doesn't matter. Do you do what you feel, keep going.
Yeah.
And use everybody. There's I believe use if you're stressed, whatever, and negative energy or whatever that is, do something, whatever it is. If it means punch a bag, make music, write, read. If you focus that shit into something else, you start seeing it go somewhere else. If you just let it fill up your brain, that's where it's gonna do. It's just gonna paint. Mike Tyson said this, and it's nothing is more real. Our brains are programmed to want to kill us. We got to keep it in check. If it's food, if it's anything that makes us feel good, if we don't tell ourselves to stop, we won't.
Oh, that's the truth. That's the fucking,
Right?
yeah.
So to our brain, will tell us you can't do it, you can't. No, it wants to tell us this. But the fact is, we realize no. We tell our brain. We got to learn to tell our brain no.
Right.
I tell you what the fuck we want to do. It ain't always that easy though. I ain't saying it
Oh,
is,
no,
but
it's not. It's hard as fuck sometimes.
but I learned. My brain's the one to tell me like, even at my worst, yo, what will your mother say? What will your father say? What will your oh, forget it. What will your I was like, oh, forget it. Right away, I got I better get my because I know they're looking at me now that I'm folding, and that I'll never fold for them. So it's just whatever. Like everybody has their moments, and have your moment, and let it just be a moment. You know,
Yeah.
a moment to regroup. We all need it.
Fuck yeah, we do.
And that's all right. That's what you need. You regroup, but you don't fall apart. That's what the thing is that we just can't fall apart. Can't fall apart. We can have bad days, bad weeks, but we can't say, "Oh, this is it. This is it." That's bullshit. We can't, and that's bullshit. It really is. No, no.
Right.
Till our lights are off permanently, that's when it's it, and then we don't even know what happens from there.
Right. Yeah, no, at that point it's just like,
Yeah, exactly. Let whatever happen.
yeah.
We deal with this life now, and again, I use all that shit in our music. Same thing with E, man. E's been through a lot where musically, even where we wanted to be is like, yo, work. He's always been working on music, and we were like, yo, he's always wanted to do a band with me, and he didn't believe it when I told him like, yo, you want to do this? He was kind of like, yeah, so, and kind of like, yeah, about fucking time.
Yeah.
He's like my boy since I'm 15 years old.
Yeah. Wow. So how'd you guys meet?
Well, hanging out in the park, where the hardcore community, obviously, even back then was very small, and some of us even a lot of us were into graffiti. It just happened to be And I lived in an area. Me and my brother MQ, he was a graffiti writer. We lived in an area called Corona, and we knew about a bunch of hardcore skins that lived in Jackson Heights, and some of them bombed and did graffiti. So, it's such a small world. We were like, oh, let's go see who these people are. Let's go see what's up. We would see who was up in graffiti and vice versa. So we went through their neighborhood. And as we were walking through their neighborhood, long story short, oh, yo, who are you? What MQ1? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, get out of here. I know you. What's up? And you see your hardcore kids. We all skins. Yo, what's up? I said, yo, come hang out. And as we hung out, the first day we linked up. 5 minutes later, Ezek rolls up. I didn't know him. And he comes up and, oh, what's up, what's up? And right as we get introduced, this other kid who did graffiti, apparently, who hung out with the group that we ended up meeting, stepped to Ezek on some graffiti shit. On like, yo, you went over me. Now, we don't know Ezek at the time, but we just met him. So me and my brother MQ, we look at each other and then we look at him like, oh, let's go see what this guy's going to do. And then Ezek looks at the dude and said, so, what are you going to do about it? And then we looked at the dude and then looked at E, and we looked at the guy like, what are you going to do about it now? The guy didn't do shit. We looked at each other and we started laughing. And then we became friends ever since then. And we were like 15, 16 years old, And, but yeah, and again, he's one of the guys that I saw. So when I wanted to do this, I said, man, I want to make sure I get people that they want to be in the studio. You know what I mean? Like really, like I wanted like fanatics, like with it. You know what I mean? To make this happen, kind of thing. And he's like, he loves the like I do. Like we love to be in the studio, to be around it. Again, to be productive. In a positive way. Because if not, then we would be productive in a bad way.
Yeah, that's the truth, right? Idle hands.
Exactly. So.
All that good shit. So, is there a memory from touring that you're like, man, this was like the best fucking time ever?
You want to know what? Yeah. The last tour I did with Madball was the last European run we did. It was Madball, Hazen St, The Take. Oh, wait, well, no, my fault. One of the last ones. The last one was great too. I can't say it. The last one we did one with Drain. No, my fault. That same one I'm talking about was Drain, but it was Hazen St, The Take, Drain, H2O, and Madball. So we had Willie in The Take, our original drummer. We had Matty Henderson. He was with H2O. And we had Hazen St and Matt. So I never thought I would be all of us. We're like very, very close friends. And for all of us to wake up every day and be on tour, like there will never be another time like that. And it ended up being like the last tour I ended up doing with the band. So again, the way the gods work, I couldn't have picked a better tour.
Hell yeah.
It was just, that one was just great in every way. Like just so much family on the tour, and then playing music to packed houses every night, like in Europe, which is like my second home. I'm like, can't beat it.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. I'm glad you had that experience.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm really glad because it was special for me. And being in the game so long, special is hard to, it got to be real special. You get to do a lot of cool things. So to say special,
yeah,
it got to be. And this one was like everything worked out, man. It worked out, I think, in a good way, man.
Yeah, I think after so long, you kind of get a little jaded, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it becomes like the norm, and well, you get a lot jaded, And when I left the band, and also starting my podcast and my show, the Hard Corner, where we cover a lot of bands and news, I got to become a fan again, and I loved it. I got to you get that competitive mind when you're in a band, and sometimes you don't look at bands the same like you used to as a fan because you're kind of like, oh, these guys are in my,
competition,
in my league, yeah. Even in competition, even like friends or whatever, just kind of like, yeah. So you ain't looking at them as, you're more dissecting than listening and enjoying. And then doing the shows, I got to be a fan again, and it made me go back into music, doing this with a different outlook on just music And I'm the most open I've ever been musically. Even like, wow, like I really love like everything, like a lot.
Hell yeah.
And I don't give a fuck who cares or not. But like, I'm like, you know, I see the beauty and just everything, the cool, and something can have something cool. You don't gotta love it or even like it, but you're like, yeah, I can see how that's cool. And you know what? That's big. To
Yeah.
create something that makes you feel a certain way, it's not an easy thing to do.
No,
You know?
it's not. And I think that's, the beautiful thing about music is, it's multifold, right? Because there's so many different variations of what someone feels or what they create, so
Yeah,
many styles of music. And at the end of the day, you go to a fucking show and it doesn't matter what show you go to. No one gives a shit about anything but the fucking band on stage.
it's true. And that's what it should, at the end of the day, it should always be about the music. And I believe everybody should be pushing the limits as far as excelling from, you know, the crowds should support their bands to the max. The bands should be fucking studying the game to the max and not just phoning shit in.
Right.
Everybody should be working, especially underground scene like the underground hardcore, just heavy music scene, because it deserves it. It deserves that because the it doesn't always get the respect it does, but all the big dogs know who the fuck the underground is
Oh, that's
because they all were influenced by it. So we should represent it the right way, not just because people think it's some bullshit.
right.
Treat it like bullshit. No, we show them no. We don't forget what you stole off of us, you know, or borrowed or whatever. And a lot of OG bands give props. Shout out to the Metallicas and the Slayers. Back in the day, they gave the AF shirts, the COC patches, the Misfit patches, because that was how it was.
Yep.
A lot of the old hardcore punk dudes loved, if they loved, why they were into Venom. That was the next extreme thing. Venom, Hellhammer. Okay, it's just what's next? Creator. Oh shit, next. What's more? Discharge or whatever. What's the next extreme? What's faster? What's this? It all comes from the same shit. Celtic Frost, one of my favorite bands. You ain't gonna pick a band that wasn't more influenced from punk rock than them,
That's
and
the
they are
truth.
metal gods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no obituary without them. And if you listen, they're one of the bands that weren't commuting the whole shit. Their whole shit was like a punk shit, strumming, real open, and that was from the hardcore shit. Rest in peace to Martin Ains, the bass player. He was an old friend of mine, and the reason why Zurich, Switzerland had hardcore music was because of him. Like he brought that shit to Switzerland.
Fuck yeah.
He was a big fan of it, man. So shout out to Celtic Frost.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude. Um, okay. I'm gonna say thank you. I appreciate it. This conversation has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, cool, man.
Um, I can't wait for the whole fucking release to come out.
Yeah, man. Me too, man. Everybody, CasaDeRock.com. You can cop the T-shirt and the pre-order there. Blackout Records, you can cop it there. Static Era Records, get that green. And Cortex in Germany for Europe. Like you could get that, and it's gonna be out digitally everywhere. 420 is the next single, and you're gonna bug out on that track. And then I believe May 7th should be the whole EP. So yeah, definitely, man. Just look out for that shit, man. I'm psyched on it.
For sure, dude. Me too. I really can't wait. I think a lot of people are gonna love what you guys put together and are putting out. Um, now I have to go pre-order another fucking color, but
Yeah, all good, bro. Yo, let me know when this drops, and we'll blast it. You know what I mean?
for sure, dude. I appreciate you. Have a great night.
Be safe, bro. Have a good one.
You too, dude. See ya.